Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Hanan Hanina and welcome to my channel. Okay, so for this video, Nina akan share some reading aloud session in which Nina akan bacakan a few excerpt ke ataupun story, maybe part of the story, a chapter from my personal collection lah. By big reason why I'm doing this is because to keep track of my reading record. Okay, I love reading so much. It's just that I keep giving excuses to myself. Okay, and I don't think those excuses are somehow acceptable. I need to continue reading kan, kena juga membaca. And this is going to be my reading log record lah for me to keep track of whatever thing I'm reading. Okay, so Nina akan buat benda ni secara weekly. So every Sunday Nina akan post satu video on my YouTube channel, so that I know that I read something for the particular week, as well as to share my thoughts, my opinion, and to spread some positivity, okay, about the materials I'm reading to all, hopefully. Okay, and the book that I'm going to share today, okay, a story yang teacher pula yang Nina nak share. Sorry, terlalu biasa dengan menggelarkan diri sebagai teacher kan, cikgu. So I really miss teaching so much. Tak apa, life must go on. Okay, so a story that I'm going to share is from this book. Okay, Life Lesson from Remarkable Woman, Tales of Triumph, Failure, and Learning to Love Yourself. Okay, so it's written by a very well-known writer, numerous writer. Okay, very big names here. For example, we have Bobbi Brown, the founder of Bobbi Brown Cosmetics. Siapa je tak kenal. And then we have Nimco Ali. So Nimco Ali is, kita boleh kata dia feminist lah, a social activist, very well-known in British. And we have Nicole Adams OBE. So Nicole is actually a woman championship boxer. Okay, and other big names. Okay, so it's their stories are compiled in this very thin book. Dia tak rasa macam tebal sangat. Okay, taklah terlalu tebal untuk kita baca lah. So just nice sahaja, right? And I would like to share the positivity that I got from this book. Sangat-sangat membantu diri Nina, sangat-sangat boostkan Nina punya motivation lah throughout this book. Okay, and then the story, somehow I can relate their story to my life. Okay, especially the one I'm going to read after this. A story by Bobbi Brown. Okay, she's talking about changes. So this is the thing that I would like to highlight. Okay, like me myself pun, as I told earlier, I'm going through some sort of transition. Okay, few changes in my life and so whatnot, right? Changes is actually important for us. Okay, tanya je lah siapa-siapa dalam dunia ni, semua orang akan mengalami transisi dalam kehidupan dia, akan mengalami perubahan. Tak ada satu orang pun dekat muka bumi ni yang akan sama je daripada awal sampai akhir. Semua akan ada dynamic dalam kehidupan. Akan ada perubahan. Graf kita tak akan sama macam ni tau. Graf kita akan sentiasa ada turun dan naik. Sama juga dengan kehidupan kita. Okay, so one thing that I learned from the story is it's okay to do some changes. Bukan okay, it's actually good for you to do some changes actually. And changes is actually necessary. Okay, especially for betterment lah. Okay, kalau kita nak hidup yang lebih baik, definitely lah, semua orang pun nak hidup yang lebih baik, right? Tak ada orang yang nak hidup dia sama je daripada awal sampai akhir. So semua orang ada impian yang kita nak capai, ada goal, ada target yang kita nak pergilah. So these stories from these amazing women will help you a lot, okay, throughout all the changes lah. Okay, so say no more, let's go through the stories. Okay, ini akan bacakan the story from Bobbi Brown, the founder of Bobbi Brown Cosmetics. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Bobby Brown, Life Lesson Number 2: The Joy of Starting Over. I am someone who likes a challenge. I am incredibly curious. I like the unknown, and I like to try new things. I believe in simple solutions, but I like to challenge myself to identify more interesting ways to do things. As soon as something stops being challenging, I like to change it up. When I do the same thing over and over again, I stop being inspired and stop producing my best work. That's not to say change is always easy. I think a lot, but often act without thinking. That was not the case, however, when I made the decision to leave my namesake brand after almost 27 years. That was not an instant decision. I didn't just wake up and say, "Today's the day." The brand was my baby, my pride and joy, and who I was. I believe makeup should be simple and easy to apply. I love being able to teach women the simplicity of beauty, but also how to rock a smoky eyes on a bright red lip. I was surrounded by amazing and inspirational creative teams who were also my friends. There were so many reasons I loved my job until I didn't anymore. Things were not working for me, and I was becoming increasingly frustrated and aggravated. There was a shift happening, not only at the brand, but in the industry. At first, I was optimistic and a bit naive and thought I could fix things and make everything better. I was vocal and honest. I told the truth. I confided in many of my mentors and confidants, seeking guidance from them. I held the hope that I could make a difference and turn things around as I had so many times before in the company's history. I am the kind of person who likes to forgo her own path, and whenever I see something isn't working, I look for a solution. There are people who stay in unhappy marriage for way too long, sometimes for financial reasons, or sometimes it's fear or simply feeling stuck. To stay in a situation that isn't working for you, whether it's a job or a relationship, isn't healthy. Sure, it's risky to upend your life and start over again, but if you don't take a chance, then you'll never know. When I did decide that it was time to leave, I knew instinctively that I could have done the right thing. First, I felt relief. Then, I was excited about all the possibilities ahead of me. All the things I didn't have time to do, I could now make time for it. I have never been to the Statue of Liberty. I haven't sat in a cafe for a cappuccino in years. I still want to take hip hop dance classes, and I really want to be available to do last minute things with my husband, boys, and girlfriend. The world is my oyster. However, I would have been lying if I told you this had all happened since my departure from the brand. There were a few weeks spent with lawyers and UPR people to handle my announcements and my exit from the company. There were emotions that I wasn't expecting to feel, like anger, sadness, and loss. I've learned that these feelings were normal for me to experience. It was hard to say goodbye to my driver, who was in my driveway every morning and one of my closest confidants. And I worry about the girls who came to my house on Halloween, expecting the lip glosses I give away every year. I am lucky that I have a big support system and people willing to let me vent. My yoga teacher, who was highly recommended, became my life coach. It was time to adapt and adjust. It's funny how hard it is to not only be in control of your own destiny, but your own schedule as well. I was so used to every second of every day being scheduled with a meeting, photo shoot, interview, etc. I couldn't help feeling a little lost when I woke up some days and didn't have to catapult out of bed. But you never know when some little act of kindness will change everything. A group of us went away for my husband's birthday, and one night at an outdoor dinner party, the chef in charge introduced himself to me and told me his wife was a big fan of my brand. I told him of my transition and that I was thinking of doing something new. He said, "Hey, you got this." Every time I saw him, he said it again. Soon, I started saying it back to him. I got this. A few months later, I put the slogan on a sweatshirt and a hat and started selling them in a concept store I was creating. Those few words gave me the confidence I needed at the time. Chef Victor was the guy I needed to see at that time. Women are forced by societal expectations to be flexible and constantly reinvent themselves. Having children may not change you as a person, but it certainly changes the way others look at you. And it also allows you to become quickly someone who is multitasker and fast on your feet. We're also taught not to take our success for granted, which I think means you have to continue to work at it and work harder. Just think of the adage: a woman's prerogative is to change her mind. Starting over is built in our psychological DNA, and that's something we should all learn to take advantage of long before I left Bobby Brown Cosmetics. I was pressing reboot on areas of my life that were not working out of me, swapping negative relationships for newer, more positive influences, accepting when to delegate and when to step away. I know I have an unfair advantage when it comes to leaving one business in favor of launching another. I try to remind myself of an important approach. If everything collapses in on itself, or I realize I've made a mistake, what's the very worst thing that could go wrong? I've already achieved a lot more than I ever imagined. Recently, I found myself in Whole Foods when I bumped into a man I've known in a professional capacity who was now working in the government food department. I asked him what he was doing, and he explained that his company had recently gone through a round of redundancies. He didn't feel comfortable sitting at home, waiting for a new job offer to appear in his inbox. So he headed to Whole Foods and found some work to keep him occupied in the meantime. It's much easier to feel good about yourself if you're busy, he said. And he's right. If things go wrong, if starting over sends you sideways, then try to keep busy. Get up and get out, and you will go forwards. There are still moments when I can't believe how fortunate I am to be able to change my life. Change is cleansing. It's like breathing after yoga. You're getting negative energy out and letting the positive in. My life has gone from being very, very complicated to very, very simple and straightforward. I already feel calmer. The biggest thing I realize is that nobody is ever going to simplify my life for me. If you want to change, then you have to take the initiative because no one else will do it for you. And if you want a fresh start, then you have to be the person who takes the risk because otherwise, nothing will ever happen. As well as founding Barbie Brown Cosmetics, I was beauty editor at the Today Show for 14 years. When that ended, I became editor of a beauty magazine at Yahoo. And when that came to an end, I became lifestyle editor of New York's biggest radio show. Every single one of those roles was a role that I wanted, and every one was a role that I actively pitched for. The opportunities didn't come to me when I was sat at home. They came when I went after them. It's easy to look at the world right now and feel like nothing's working. However, I like looking at life as an opportunity. If you are not happy, pull back and reinvent the way you are doing things. Taking a chance and starting over is scary. But if you ask me, happiness is worth taking a risk for. Thank you guys for listening to my video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and stay highly motivated. Okay, so if you love the video, give me some thumbs up and share it with your family members, with your friends, and help me to spread the positivity to all. Okay, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more interesting video. So until next time, love, Nina.